providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Good morning. Welcome to Caregiver Crossing. This is Tina McIntosh. I'm your co-host along with
Terry Stacy.
And our producer,
Noah Taylor.
Hey.
Hey.
Listen, if it's your first time, we're glad you're here. If you've been here before, it makes it sound like we don't care as much, but we do. We're really glad you're here. And we are a radio show that is for all things caregiving. And we're here every weekend to bring you all kinds of stuff, lots of information, and hopefully some smiles and community, because we know when you're caregiving, that's really, really important. What is also important is I brought you guys something today.
Oh my gosh.
Did you? Because I brought you smiley face cookies. I want to tell you off the air, before we even started, Tina took my smiley face cookies and smashed both eyes with the palm of her hand. She has a weird kind of thing that when food is out, she wants to touch it,
She wants to
mutilate smash it.
Wait a minute, not all food.
A lot of food.
Just
Tortilla
food with
chips.
faces.
Smiley face cookies from Taylor's.
I thought they told us not to play with our food.
Well,
Who is they?
My mom.
I like your mom.
okay, so you brought us gifts today?
I did. Okay. All right. Here they go. It is, here you go, aloe vera water.
Ooh.
Have you had it?
I have had aloe water. My partner really loves aloe water, and this one has a little bit of honey in it, too.
Yeah. Have you had
Aloe
it?
vera juice drink. This would be my first time ever. It's in a green bottle. Is it clear water when it goes into my
here's
mouth?
what you
or
do
is it
need to know.
green?
It's got some chunks. It's clear, but it's got chunks in it. Before you take a drink, I need you to know there are chunks in it.
And what are those chunks?
Aloe vera.
And you can just swallow that?
Yeah, for sure. It's actually really, really good. No, I'd actually like you to sift it out and just pick out
Just
the
get
chunks.
the chunks of
Yeah,
aloe.
is that cool?
Yeah.
No, don't do that. So
You'll
here's,
just smash it with the palm of your hand.
I've gotten some responses from us. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I can't remember. Talking about herbs and oils. Oh, Terry just took a drink.
No, I just smelled it. It smells fruity.
Well,
Let's try it.
in my house, we would respond by saying, "You smell fruity." I paused because I didn't know if it was appropriate. What do you think, Terry?
It tastes like you would think aloe vera would taste.
Uh-oh.
It's not bad.
I
And if
love
it's good
it.
for you, then I drink anything.
It is good for you. And so
not
here's the deal.
awful.
It can improve your digestion. It can help with hydration. And
Okay.
it enhances immune function, which right now with everything going around
I'll
in
drink
the
it.
spring.
The perfect drink.
I think it's a
Thank
good
you.
idea. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you so much,
Aloe
Tina.
vera is so good for you anyway. I mean, on your skin, everywhere,
Oh.
on burns.
It is so good
It's
for
just
you.
So it's just a plant.
I do
It's
want
just
you
one
to
of
know,
God's
though,
plants.
if you have a plant, don't just cut it up and drink it. You have to drain out. There's a thin layer between the skin and the aloe that you can ingest of a yellow, and you have to drain that yellow before you can use it.
Don't even attempt it.
Yeah, don't do that. Just buy
Yeah,
it. This
just
is
buy it.
exposed, is
Yeah,
what it's
just buy the
called.
aloe vera.
You
It's
liked it too,
good.
Noah?
I liked it a lot.
Wonderful.
Where did you find it?
CVS.
Okay, so it's just about anywhere then, I'll bet.
Yeah, and they have big bottles of it now too, like
Exposed.
chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug.
Thank you, Tina Bina.
You're welcome. I'm going to eat my cookie and let you guys talk about it. Is World Immunization Week.
Oh,
World
which has become
Immunization Week.
controversial, hasn't it?
Yes.
Well, I would imagine that is true. I mean, here's the deal. It's a time that we spotlight the power of vaccines that help prevent disease and protecting global health. And for caregivers, it's a reminder that prevention is part of the care that we provide. But it is a world divided when it comes to vaccinations.
Of recent years, it really has become something that you either are okay or good with. I didn't realize there would be such a controversy over vaccines, even measles vaccines, because measles is in our country now.
Recent outbreak of measles.
Recent outbreak, and so it never occurred to me that people had stopped giving their kids measles vaccines.
What do the measles do to you?
Well, they can be serious especially if you're an adult. But, if you're in that, I thought about Easter this weekend, and the kids just coming back from spring break, and they've been places perhaps where they could have been exposed. And then Easter, you get everybody together, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, everybody comes in, and it just takes that one little bit of exposure.
So,
But then if you've had the vaccine, there's an actual date, right, that you can go back to, like 1965. Those first vaccines that those in 1962 and younger, I think, they declared that perhaps you needed 2 of those vaccines. And perhaps if you got them during that time, the vaccine is stronger now or better. And so maybe you should have a redo.
Yeah.
And I'm not a doctor, and I'm only doing this from my memory. And you know what that's like. I'm going to have some aloe vera water.
I think trust no one, including Terry. No, I mean, here's the reality. It's interesting to me, and I know that, Noah, we only have a couple minutes and we have things to talk about here.
Oh.
I will say this. It's interesting for me. I'm a weirdo, and I believe in all kinds of weird conspiracy theories, and I get it, and, whatever. It's weird. I get it. And at the same time, I vaccinate my kids. I get the vaccinations.
Well, first and foremost, I think we should trust our doctors, and I think we should trust the professionals who have degrees in this. I will say that I am deathly afraid of needles. So that hurts. That hurts when I have to get a shot. But I think why this really matters for us and why this matters for caregivers is vaccines ultimately help reduce hospitalizations and complications, especially for our loved ones who do maybe have a chronic illness or a weakened immune system.
All right. I think you make an excellent point there. Keep going. You are the voice of reason in this room right now. I'm eating a smiley face cookie and Terry's playing with kinetic sand.
And I'll be the one here taking charge. Well, it's also really important for caregivers, too, because we're so focused on our loved ones who maybe have a life-altering diagnosis that at some point caregivers maybe forget to get their own vaccinations.
So does that mean I have to get a shingles vaccination?
Probably.
I keep wondering about that, too. Do I need to get a shingles vaccination?
I mean, are you over the age of 50?
Yeah.
You need to get one.
And I had chicken pox.
You need to go first, and then I'll do it.
Again,
I need to do it.
Maybe
I'm
we
going to
should
do it.
do it
I'm
together.
going to do it. I'm just going to do it.
Good. Some of the more common vaccines that support our loved ones' health. We got the flu and COVID-19 vaccines, shingles and pneumonia, which is especially important for older adults. And then
yelling at me.
She really is yelling. Pick up the play with the sand.
And then
You'll feel
tetanus,
better.
whooping cough, RSV, which is relevant for infants and older adults.
It's a true story. I mean, vaccinations prevent 4 to 5 million deaths worldwide each year. How do they know that? I don't know, but I trust them, even though I don't trust them. So I think it's important. Medicare, Medicaid, local health departments, free or low cost through those. And it really is, Noah said it, I'm going to say it again, prevention is a powerful form of care. So you need to get vaccinated, take care of your loved one. These are preventative measures, and we care about you. So I will get my shingles, and I'm going to make Terry go with me, and we're going to record
We'll get it together.
All right. We do have to take a break, but stick around. We will be right back.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you as a service of Joyce House in partnership with Cardon & Associates. With locations in Broad Ripple and near the University of Indianapolis campus, Joyce House provides exceptional day services for individuals living with a life-altering diagnosis and compassionate support for family caregivers throughout the community. At Joyce House, we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, regardless of their abilities. Learn more about our adult day and caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828 or by visiting joycehouse.org today. All right, stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Culture evolves at the speed of light, just like your financial needs. When it comes to your money, Credit Karma keeps you in the know and ahead of the game. You can count on Credit Karma to keep up with your financial needs as they evolve. We'll help you monitor your progress and give personalized recommendations so you can make strides towards your goals and find your way to money. Make sure you're on the right track, no matter where you are on your financial journey. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. It's Terry and Tina and Noah, and we've got some guests in studio today. We're glad to have them, too. Grateful that you're here. But joining us now is Hilary Bercovitz.
You did it.
Did I do it? Bercovitz or Berkowitz? It is Bercovitz. Bercovitz. She's here. And Danielle Behnke. I'll give you some letters. So Hilary, behind her name is MSW LCASW, meaning?
Licensed clinical social worker.
Thank you for being here. Now, Danielle has MHACCLS.
Yes, Masters of Healthcare Administration
Okay.
and Certified Child Life Specialist.
Okay. Thank you both for coming. These are two compassionate leaders from Brooke's Place, an Indianapolis nonprofit that provides support to grieving children, teens, young adults, and their families. Hilary brings a deep background in social work and mental health and leads outreach efforts that bring grief support into underserved communities. And Danielle, a certified child life specialist, has spent over a decade supporting children and families in healthcare settings and brings a special passion for working with neurodiverse kids. And together they have created a safe healing space where grief is met with understanding and no one has to walk through it alone. What a beautiful place this is. Brooke's Place. Has it been around a while?
Yes, it's been around we just celebrated our 25th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary is
deal.
right. That's
I
a
know
milestone.
Joyce House is also having,
Yeah.
yes.
And it's wild to me. I didn't realize we came in at the same time. I knew we grew up at the same time.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You grew up at the same time. I like those words.
Yeah,
You grew
well,
up
I
at the
feel like
same
we
time.
have. Really, I mean, Brooke's Place is really the name you have for yourself in the community is incredible. And that's because you're helping people every single day. So can you explain in simple terms what Brooke's Place does?
And who is it named after someone?
Yes, so it's named after Brooke Wright, whose father, Tom Wright, was actually killed in a plane crash back in 1994. And so Pam Wright, who was our creator, everything for Brooke's Place, wanted to name it after Brooke at that point. So when she started the organization back in 1999, she had asked Brooke if that was okay to do that. So
Love that. And so if we were sitting in front of a kindergarten class right now, how would you explain what you do?
Well, since 1999, we have provided support groups. So we provide grief peer support groups for those ages 3 all the way up to 29, plus their caregivers, adults, whoever is with them, family members. And we provide that support. We do have therapy services as well, but we were primarily founded off of our support groups. So
3 years old and up,
Yes.
right? You said 3 years. Now, how do you know at 3 years old that that 3-year-old is in some sort of a grief? Either of you, is there a definite signs of
Yes.
that a 3-year-old?
we know that an infant, a child, a young adult, a teenager, anybody can grieve. If they're 1 year old, they can grieve. If you're old enough to love, you're old enough to grieve. Dr. Alan Wolfelt, who is really an expert on grief and bereavement, did say that. So we just see a lot of different things where a 3-year-old maybe can't tell us or articulate it that they're grieving, but they can show us. Maybe we have a tummy ache or a headache, whatever that may be, they just show us instead of saying it.
I would think that as a parent, after going through something, you'd almost have to see. You'd have to almost have to know the signs of a child that young to recognize that, okay, they've got a stomach ache or they've got something. How do I know that that's more than just a stomach ache?
Sure. I think a lot of times our parents are grieving so much themselves, they don't even know. They don't even have the time to really kind of just focus on that child. So our resources are very helpful in just kind of getting the word out, whether that's to a mortuary, whether that's to hospice organizations, and just saying that this does exist when you're ready, when that time is right, even if we're not showing it, maybe a year from now, and that may be the right time.
I think it proves the point. Everybody grieves differently, right? And there's no algorithm for grief. Wouldn't that be nice if there was? We just knew what was coming. But you said the quote of if you're old enough to love, you're old enough to grieve, and that is powerful. I saw Noah writing notes. I wrote it down. Like, that is really powerful. And is there a story that you can share that really captures the essence of the impact that you all have at Brooke's Place?
You know, I think part of it is we've got a newer program, our BP8 program. So it's Brooke's Place 8 weeks. So it's our short-term outreach, and we provide that within the community at different schools and different community centers and places of worship. And I will say that really where I have seen, I guess, a lot of times in our underserved communities that we are at, especially for BP8, we often see children that don't have that opportunity to express their grief or to receive services. So I can just remember in one of the groups that I had, I think this child had probably 6 other siblings, and it was very important that I got every word that he said correct, because my guess is that mom, surviving spouse, doesn't have a lot of time to focus on this one particular child. And so it was very powerful to hear the story of his dad dying, but then that I got every detail correct when he was talking about dad and the circumstances surrounding dad's death. So
Wow.
I imagine you helped that child. His life was changed,
Yeah.
yeah,
as a result of being heard.
we want him, her, everyone to feel heard. We sometimes we don't know, but we're just hopeful that we do make an impact on them in the future.
Okay, so here's a question that kind of stems from that. I would imagine in that circumstance, mom is trying to be the strong one for everybody else while she's, cracked and heartbroken inside during all of this. What would you say to the person who's trying to be the quote unquote strong one in the family?
Oh, that's a good question. So what would I say to someone who's trying to be the strong one? That it's okay for now to be the strong one, but in the future, there are resources that can help you not have to feel like that. However, we're not here to change anyone's grief, anyone's story, anyone's characteristics of how they're feeling or coping. It's just our hope that eventually with support, they don't feel like they have to be.
I love hearing that. It's okay for now to be the strong one. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm looking at egocentrically, I just started therapy back up. I haven't been in therapy by myself for 2 decades because I've been raising kids and I've been going with them, right? So I'm being therapized.
I knew you were going to say
Is that a word? I'm in therapy with them, right? And I'm very self-aware and self-reflective. But sitting in the room by myself is different. And it doesn't make me any less strong. It gives me an opportunity to just be there for whatever's happening in that hour every couple of weeks. I just hope people recognize that they can get that help too. Okay, are you telling me we have to take a break?
Got about 1 minute left before we need to take a break.
I didn't know if Noah was angry with me or telling me we had 1 minute left, but that finger was up in the air. All right, Terry, I know you had a question.
Well, just before we do take the break, Danielle, your role, what is your day like? If we can get that down into about a minute of what a day like is for you.
At Brooke's Place?
At Brooke's Place.
Yeah, so I am the outreach coordinator. So I work alongside of our outreach team with Hilary and Montana, our director. And primarily my role at Brooke's Place is to help onboard and train our volunteers that are serving our children. So that means giving them the background that they need to feel that they have that information about childhood grief. What are the tools that we can use to really companion our children that are grieving and help them get set up so that we can really serve more kids in our community? So that entails for our volunteers that we serve is our BP8 programming. So getting them our school professionals that are going through training, as well as our camp programming as well.
It sounds like that there are opportunities for volunteers, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about that too after we take a break.
All right, we will be back here in just a moment on Caregiver Crossing. We are a show designed for family caregivers and people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you as a service of Joy's House, here from the Joy's House studio, in partnership with our friends at Cardon and Associates. And we have locations in Broad Ripple, also near the University of Indianapolis campus. And we provide exceptional, I feel like if I do say so myself, we provide exceptional adult day services for individuals living with life-altering diagnoses and compassionate support for family caregivers throughout the community. At Joy's House, we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, regardless of their abilities. And we want you to learn more about our Adult Day and caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828 or by visiting joyshouse.org today. Again, 317-254-0828. And the web address is joyshouse.org. Now stick around because we'll be back with more Caregiver Crossing right after this. Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. I am Tina McIntosh in studio with Terry Stacy and Noah Taylor, and we've got 2 lovely women with us, Hilary Bercovitz and Danielle Behnke. And they're both with Brooke's Place, which is a wonderful organization. If you're not familiar with Brooke's Place, please know who they are. They've been around, just celebrated 25 years of making a difference in the lives of children ages 3 and up who have lost a grieving parent or lost a parent and they're grieving that loss, which is ironic today didn't even think about this when I got dressed in what looks to be scrubs. But this was my dad's sweatshirt, and he died 2 years ago, and today's his birthday. And so I put it on today just to be a little closer to him. And then here we are sitting about, So that leads me to a question. 3 and up, I'm 53. Can I come to a support group if I needed? Or is it literally like 3 through 18?
So we would have you come if you had a child, a teen, a young adult enrolled.
Perfect.
So yes, you absolutely would. And really quick, I just want to say a big thank you to Joyce House for having us here, to Noah, Terry, and Tina. I really appreciate it. And also something that we would do when you're telling us about your sweatshirt that you're wearing, I wonder if you would share your dad's name with us.
Of course, Ken Prather.
Ken Prather.
Or Kenny, as his parents called him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's what we would do for all of our families, is just to really respect the name and what is their name. That's very powerful. So,
I love that.
Yep.
So, Brooke's Place, let's go ahead and give the website before we get lost and we forget that at the end. What is the website?
It is brooksplace.org. So BROOKES. Place.
Brooksplace.org. And if you want to, Brooke's Place is a not-for-profit organization. So they're always looking for monetary donations and support. You can do that at brooksplace.org. If you're interested in volunteering, you can go there as well. If you're looking for a job, check it out and see if they've got any openings, because these are great people making a real difference in the lives of grieving children. And so I do want to ask you, and this is a hard question, but what are the risks that we see with a child who is grieving and that doesn't get acknowledged, and it doesn't have the support of family, friends, therapy, Brooke's Place?
That's a great question. I think one of the primary things that we tend to see is substance abuse, mental health diagnoses that are kind of going unchecked, issues in school, down the line, incarceration. If you were to look, I wish I had that statistic with me, at the number of individuals that are on death row right now, and look at how many of them experienced the death of a parent, guardian, or someone significant to them. It would be well over 75%. I just don't know the exact statistic to quote it, but it's pretty. Yeah.
I certainly never would have guessed that number. Yeah. I want you to talk about neurodivergent children, and especially those that are on the autism spectrum, and how they perhaps handle grief, and for parents as well that have what they should be watching for, and how we bring it up because I think the number I saw the other day was maybe 1 in 5, 1 in 6 children are on the autism spectrum.
Yeah, it was substantial. I saw it too.
And it just really opened my eyes for a minute to think how many that really is, and teachers and parents and that are all working with these children. So how can you help maybe a parent that has a child that's on the autism spectrum that might deal with grief differently?
Sure, I'm happy.
Please, Danielle.
Yes, absolutely. So I think one of the biggest things that we want to think about with anybody who's neurodivergent on the autism spectrum, it is such a spectrum diagnosis of anything, right?
Yeah.
So the way that we experience grief is going to be so unique. And we say that for every living person, every human being is going to experience grief so uniquely. As different as we are humans, that's how grief is felt. So there's really no true definition of this is what we're going to look for in this individual, this child who has autism spectrum. What does grief look like? And the same answer is going to be true. And that makes it really challenging as a parent to know, what does that grief look like? What am I looking for? And what they can consider is knowing who their child is, who are they as people, right? So knowing what, how they learn best, how they process information, how do they show emotions? Do they show emotions?
Yeah.
Knowing all those things about your individual child is going to be the first cue to learning how are they grieving? And that's going to be unique for everybody. And I think the biggest thing to consider is that grief is not always going to look the same way that we expect it to look. So we all have our unique experiences in our grief journey, and we may have preconceived notions of what is that going to look like in a child that's neurodivergent, a child that's on the autism spectrum. So really just acknowledge that it may not look the same way that we may expect it to, right? So some kids may show the emotions that we would maybe expect, those heightened emotions, sadness. They may show nothing at all. And I think that's really good to point out that grief may not look like anything outwardly to other people.
Even the words are different. I am thinking of a recent experience I had with a small child, and he was sad about something, and he kept saying, "Mommy, Mommy," and I want my mommy. And I had my emotional intelligence about me at that moment and said, tell me what mommy means to you. Well, when he was saying that, he was talking about somebody who was not his mother. And I questioned it because I know the circumstances, and it just seemed off to me. But you all have a very hard job. You're trying to get to know a human who's a unique person from everybody else in the world during a grieving situation, which can be beautiful and horrible at the same time, right? For the two of you, we've only got a couple minutes, but what is the most fulfilling part of your job? Because it's a hard job you have.
Good question.
I think that's a really good question. I'm just thinking as far as being able to provide the services to those who probably to part of the population, I think that really wouldn't be able to access our services. For example, we have Camp Healing Tree, which will be coming up August 15th through the 17th. And it offers a free overnight camp experience in air-conditioned cabins at Jameson Camp on the west side of Indianapolis. It's for ages 7 to 17, but how many kids don't get to go to camp during the summer? And this is free and it's nice. It's really kind of more luxurious camping accommodations than I would picture. And so I just think it gives a unique opportunity. And I think it's been great because Danielle can speak more to the volunteers with camp, but Montana Isaacson, our director, has really done a good job of really exposing that program and making it better and bigger. So.
Well, Danielle, in 30 seconds or less for you, most fulfilling.
I think it's giving that space that no kid may ever have that opportunity to share their story. I think grief is not something we talk about in our world. It's not something that kids get to talk about even maybe at school, at home. We're giving a voice to their story. And I think that in itself is really powerful.
If you'd like to volunteer, because I think this would be such a wonderful place to do that, where would we go?
Please visit Brooke's Place. We have a Get Involved page where you can learn about we are looking for camp volunteers. We are also looking for ongoing support group volunteers across the year. So would welcome anybody to learn more.
And to donate so more kids can go to camp and other things, other programs that you offer for sure.
Brooksplace.org. And no matter what your faith is or isn't, I would just ask you to keep these two women and their team and their volunteers and the organization at whole, just keep them in your prayers, your thoughts, your smudge sticks, your rain dances. Whatever it is you do it for them because they're really doing such important work. And you are changing not only the individual lives in the family unit, but you're changing future generations by being present and hearing people say the names of their loved ones and have a safe place to talk. So thank you so much for everything that you do. We're really grateful for Brooke's Place.
All right, brooksplace.org. If you're listening to Caregiver Crossing, it's a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed here in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provides residents with the very best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. All right, everybody, just stay still, stay put. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing after the break. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is Caregiver Crossing. Glad you're here. Thank you for joining us today. Terry Stacy, along with Tina McIntosh and our friend Noah, who produces the show. We're just kind of winding up a minute. And before we get out of here, I do want to talk about Caregiver Way.
Yes.
Which is your creation.
Well, I'm a co-founder for it. It's a part of Joy's House, but
right.
yes.
And just explain what that is for somebody that might be tuning in for the first time, what that is.
So it is a service, a program of Joy's House, just to make sure that is clear. Joy's House, who does all things Caregiver Crossing and all things caregivers, and our adult day service, of course. And I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the fact that I gave Noah the kinetic sand and it stuck to his hand, and I don't know why. He can't do anything on the board because his fingers are sticky.
And they're all pink now.
Give me that back.
Take it away from him.
Okay, there we go. Caregiver Way is our online community, and it was created for caregivers, so unpaid, typically family caregivers. So probably most of you who are, listening right now. And so whether that's that you're in the thick of the caregiving or you're transitioning out of that role, we want you to have a community, a space that gets it, that gets you. I think here is a problem, and then I'll tell you more about what it actually is. People always tell caregivers, make sure to take care of yourself. We've all heard it 1,000 times when we're caregiving, whether we're leaving the hospital, a friend's hanging up the phone, we, run into somebody at the grocery store. It's always, well, make sure you're taking care of yourself. What does that mean?
How do you even do that? Where do you even start?
Right. And so that is just one of the categories in Caregiver Way where we are giving you content. So think TikTok, think Masterclass, maybe they had a baby. Okay. And so short form content, which is what we're all used to digesting at this point, telling you how to do the things you're told that you need to be doing as a caregiver. So the categories are self-care, caring for your loved one, financial and legal, end of life, which not enough of us talk about, and then life after caregiving, because there is life after caregiving, but how do you know how to start back up your life and pick it up from where it is now?
It's a very some are able to transition from that easily and others are not, and everybody's different. But more people I talk to, it is that, my caregiving job is over. Now what do I do?
Yep.
So you still need to have that love and attention from others in this community to help walk you through that too.
And tips and tricks. I mean, Noah and I both work full-time at Joy's house. And how many times over the years have we heard people say, I wish I could share what I've learned, or I wish I had known how to blank. That's what Caregiver Way is. We're collecting all of that into this place with trusted content information, because that's the other thing. You can Google anything. How do you know what's up to date? Who do you know, that you can trust? And so we have all of that within Caregiver Way. Does that help explain what it is?
I think that explains exactly.
I think you should start over.
It is a rough day here at the Joy's House studio, my friend.
You should start over.
So, let's talk a little bit about, I think, Noah, you had prepared some stuff about grief doesn't always wait until someone is gone, right? And so for many caregivers, that grief starts much earlier. We know with a diagnosis, Alzheimer's, they coined the term the long goodbye. It's that way with a lot of diagnoses in our lives. And so we start noticing those changes, and maybe your loved one starts to feel a little bit, further away, different than they used to be. And so this is called anticipatory grief. And it can feel really, really heavy. It's also a time that you can create some meaningful moments together. So you want to know a few?
I would love to.
Okay. This is the kind of stuff that you would learn in Caregiver Way, by the way. We're going to give you 3 examples. One is record their voice. Whether it's a story, it's a memory, or it's just a moment. Maybe you catch them saying, I love you. That's the kind of thing. All 3 of us have lost people, that we love dearly, right?
That we love dearly.
And
some
so
of the most precious things I have of him being gone now are voicemails.
Yes. Yes.
Keep them. I'm going to keep them forever.
Keep them forever.
Well, actually, keep the voicemails is one of the tips that's in Caregiver Way. And so, one short voice memo that you can keep on your phone can become something that you're going to hold close for the rest of your life. And so another one is make a memory playlist. So save the soundtrack of your time together. Listen to their, favorite songs, ask about stories behind them, and just save it. It's a beautiful thing to do. And then use their hands in a simple project. So it might be a handprint. It might be a signature on a photo. It might be a little note in their handwriting. You might turn it into a tattoo. Who knows? But those are tiny gestures that become treasured keepsakes. And so that's just 3. We've got right now over 350 pieces of content in Caregiver Way.
That's fantastic.
And you can do it at your leisure. There is a membership to it, but right now we're giving it away for free because we want you in there and we want you to help us build the library content for people who are to come in their caregiving journeys. And so all you have to do, and Noah, can we put this on the Facebook page too?
Absolutely.
Okay, is visit caregiverway.com, and it's actually visit, VISIT, caregiverway.com. And you can use a code. It's capital C, capital W, and then lowercase gift. So CW gift, capital C, capital W, all small gift. And you can use that code until June 1st. It will give you 2 free months in there. There's also, you should know, you can get in and poke around. Let us know what you think. Email me with any questions or feedback, or if you want to do a piece of content, I'm tina@joyshouse.org. There's also a community in there. It's very Facebook-like in its forum. And you can have conversations with people in there, which is really lovely. We're not alone. You're not alone. You feel like that a lot. I know it. We hear from you. We are you. But in Caregiver Way, you are not alone. So we want you to join us there.
Beautiful.
What else?
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thanks. Thank you.
Caregiver Way. Again, go to visit caregiverway.com.
Yep.
Got it.
And if you need the code again, Noah will make sure it's on the website.
It's on the
We'll
website.
get it out there. So yeah, thanks for the opportunity to share it. It's helping to change lives.
Before we let you go, you made me think of something that is so precious and I need to get a hold of. This Easter, spent with Mom and my sister and family. And we went through Mom's, that she had handwritten so many, all of her old recipes.
Oh, love that.
That she had been storing in a box, and we went through each one of them and looked at them, and some are in her handwriting and others are just her favorite recipes. And I thought we need to make sure that this is a treasure we never lose and put this in more of a format where it's not just in a box that's sitting up in the attic. You know, we need to make sure that's safe. Forever.
I know we have to go, but you could scan those, turn them into a book.
Oh,
Like in
that's
her
a
handwriting.
Great idea.
I think you should think about that.
That's
That would be
a
really
great
cool.
idea. When we get back here next week, tell us if you can figure that out. Remind us how we can do that.
Yeah, that's really
How do
cool.
we do it?
All right.
Is it time to go?
I think it's time
All right,
to
everybody,
go.
have a great week ahead.
As we close the show today, we'd just like to remind our listeners that they can contact us for more info and resources to help you through the journey of caregiving at 317-254-0828. And a little mention to our sponsor, Caregiver Crossing is supported by Cardon & Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Until next time, take good care of each other.